morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at. Ladies and gents, I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as we crest this final couple days into out of January and into February, the month of love, it looks like that we're not quite finished celebrating Medarot S's 4th anniversary just yet, as we crest into week 3 of the celebration and the festivities with lots more awards to earn. But that's not the big part. In addition to this and more, we do also have the introduction of a brand new model of the iconic Valkyrie series, designed by none other than the legendary Fujioka Kenki himself. The legend, the man, the myth, and the absolute master that made Medarot Navi's designs ever all timeless and unforgettable all the same. It looks like with this new model here, he has absolutely struck out of the park with yet another wonderful installment of the Valkyrie series, clad in golden armor and shining bright light. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced this week. It is going to be a relatively light week in terms of new content that's incoming, so if you are still fairly new to the game or just starting out, it's going to be pretty exciting for you, but if you are, say, a veteran of at least a year or longer, probably won't be as content heavy as what may expect, depending on how devoted you are to the particular Valkyrie series. You know who you are. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into and officially announce this new warrior that we have joining the game. And starting that lineup with the Gacha banners, we have VAL05 Alba Noel with a kit of Colonel, Armor Drain, Needle Guard, Biped Legs, and the first non-collab instance of the leg ability of Barrage, which, friendly reminder, applies Anti-Jammer, which is immune to Anti-Air and C to self when charging Metaforce. Now, much like her predecessor of Noel, which isn't the direct predecessor, but still pretty close, Alba Noel is also capable of transforming into a flying vehicle-like form, and in this form, she changes her kit out entirely for Hyper Charge Blade, Punishment, Terminate, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Elusive, making her much more well-rounded and synergized as a, kind of just the definition of an all-rounder, sporting mastery in a lot of different categories, much like Noel did a couple models prior to her. On the topic of Noel herself, she also is making a rerun this week at VAL03 with a kit of Conceal, Thunder, Guard 500, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of All-Rounder. Now, she also is capable of meta change and was the first Valkyrie type to implement such a mechanic into her line, changing her kit out for Charge Blade, Mobile, and Fight Boost, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of B-Loader. Now, Noel has most certainly been around for quite some time, ever since the days of Medarot Navi, but she is definitely not the oldest of them all. The original Valkyrie that title goes to is VAL0 Pretty Prime, with a kit of Mirror Guard, Freeze, Basic Guard, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Dead or Alive. So as you see here, we're going to be focusing very heavily on the Warriors of Valhalla as we go into this week and starting into February. But don't let that curb you off or turn you down from any kind of particular viability these three ladies have to offer. Because not only are they very good at stopping or stalling enemies or having very diverse kits, each and every last one of them likes to use this very diverse kit to their absolute fullest advantage, allowing them to fulfill a lot of different roles on the team, especially if you like to diversify who does what and try to keep your enemies constantly guessing who's responsible for what role. Especially with Alba Noel and Noel in particular, the ability to meta change does also give them a very good edge in terms of what they bring to the field, and just to add that extra spice and keep the enemy on the edge. Now, in terms of fierce battles we have this week, it looks like we're going to be cresting into a new pattern, and I'm not 100% sure if this pattern is going to be permanent, but it looks like through February it's going to be pretty jam-packed with fierce battles, ranging between 5 and 6 all through the entire month of February. But to start us off on February, we are having a very full lineup here, as you see. And starting that lineup is DRF03 CD King with Press, Anti-Air, Press, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Bullet Rain. Next to him there on that top row is GTD01 Daichenko with Melee Guard, Missile, Gatling, Tank Legs, and the leg ability of Heavy Arms. Third on that top row is CRC01 Shafu with sword, double melee anti-air, biped legs, and the leg ability of Excel. Starting on that bottom row, we have DGD0GO Death with Optic Guard, Double Sacrifice, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Mirage. FLW01 Charged Seeds with Beam, Double Heater Plant, Multi-Ped Legs, and the leg ability of Extra Magazine. And then last but not least, GMN0 Gemini with Optic Guard, Wave, Hold, Wield Legs, and the leg ability of Adapter. Now, we have a very diverse kit of models here pretty much right from start, but it really doesn't matter which one you go after, you're really not going to be going wrong with any of them to add to your roster and collection, especially if you are a newcomer or a veteran. Except unless you're charge seeds, but I digress. Even if that be the case, charge seeds is still worth collecting just for the sake of having him, but just don't expect anything more from a potted plant sitting on the windowsill. But I digress. Continuing on. That being said, if I had to give an MVP of the week to somebody, it was honestly kind of hard this week because we have so many different fierce battles and most of them are actually pretty solid. I would honestly have to end up giving those to Shafu and Gemini in particular, especially with the rise of Tornado and anti-air spam, which has been very prominent in a current PvP meta for quite some time now. It only makes sense that pretty much anyone that has access to anti-air suddenly did get a lot of viability and spike in versatility to what they bring to the field. So Shafu is very self-explanatory there. Gemini, it was honestly kind of hard. Normally I like to give CD King the MVP of the week whenever he's up, but Gemini in particular is pretty well-rounded too, given the fact that he has two really good ailments that can stack on top of each other for no dodge and no defend. But he also has Wield Legs with Adapter, which means that's A rank on every terrain across the board, minus of course S on Cyber, which gives him very good coverage on any terrain you choose to fight him on. Just don't use his head on things if you want to try to keep him alive longer than you really want. But again, I would have to give those two as MVP of the week. If you are new or just starting out, it definitely would not hurt to farm all 6 of these just so you have them on hand. But definitely give Shafu and Gemini the particular spoiled treatment and farm for them a little more than normal if you do plan to go after any of them at all. I would like to suspect as a closing comment on these that given that the convenience store has done away with the bargain bin Medarots that used to be there every week as well, I like to believe this is probably going to be a new trend to kind of make up for that, so they can cycle more Medarots into the Fierce Battle without going 6, 8 months, or even a year without seeing one again anytime soon. But with that being said, continuing on with event stuff ongoing, we do also have a brand new Super Invasion that will be going live here this coming week as well, featuring Alba Noel herself. Not 100% sure what the modifiers on those will be, of course, but I do highly suspect it will be yet another challenge for later game veterans or endgame players to really challenge their minds and try to keep themselves limber and fit in terms of keeping teams flexible. Of course, as a reminder, I do also have a very comprehensive Super Invasion guide in the link below to the Google Drive. So if you are wondering in particular on specific rules or modifiers, don't worry, your old pal Kura has you covered to make sure you know what exactly is incoming and just so you have ways to figure out how to clear it. Now, with event stuff in particular, we do have a Wave 3 event incoming celebrating the 4th anniversary of Medarot S. And just to reflect on that for a minute, you have to admit, for 4 years of a gacha game, Medarot S has most certainly been making a lot of friends in high places and maintained a lot of successes where a lot of gacha games tend to fall short or fail. So props to Medarot, to the Medarot team and Imagineer for keeping Medarot fresh in the know with the collabs, with the events, with the new models, the contests, and so on. I really have to give credit where it's due and really commend them for keeping things fresh, especially when it comes to adding new mechanics and new skills and leg abilities, and then going back and modifying them or buffing or nerfing older skills to try to help keep things well balanced and well rounded, which was ultimately the very core of Medarot as a whole, and the mechanic of you can use anything theoretically and still make it work. But continuing on. In terms of event stuff this week, it looks like we'll be having the opportunity to earn 3 new anniversary voice lines for the MetaTuber girls themselves, Shushu Pop 2, Lealila 2, and Cheerful Bunny 2, just to celebrate again 4 years of success that Medarot S has had going forward, and to encourage and see a bright new future for Medarot as 2024 goes onward. In addition to these voice lines, you also have an opportunity to earn the Beast Medal, which is a rerun of a previous event reward. This medal in particular, as a speed nature, has a mastery in melee, support, and defense, and leg masteries in biped, multi, and flight, making it a very diverse medal that you can use for your melee fighters or melee nukers all the same, and try to keep that flexibility on your team. Lastly, much like any other event, this does give you an opportunity to earn a lot of limited time rewards such as Ascension Material and Rubies, so definitely make sure that you capitalize on making the most of that event going forward, and try to farm everything you can out of it before the rewards start to either fall short or start repeating after you collect the big ones. But in terms of how this event in particular will unfold, it is going to be a milestone-based event, which means peer sets are encouraged across the board to maximize your bonuses. In terms of who gives what, as you see here, Alba Noel will give you that 15% bonus per part. Noel and Pretty Prime will give you a 10% bonus each. The 3 PvP skins, which I will get to here momentarily, Fancy Pearl, Night Queen, and Gabriven will give you a 9% bonus each per part. And then, of course, the Fierce Battles will give you a 6% each. With Metarotters, it'll be 10% to SR rank of Koishimaru or Salt, a 5% bonus for Nozomi or Ibuki for also of SR rank, a 3% bonus for each of the 4 respective Metarotters for R rank, and a 1% for N rank. So very likely, I think this event will probably be pretty forgiving in terms of how easy it is to farm, given that they're giving pretty much all 3 of the Valkyries instantaneous access from the start, of course, but the Metarotters also are all permanently available ones. So if you've been playing longer than, say, I don't know, 6 months, you probably will have at least one of these or a combination of them that you can make use of and try to maximize your bonuses as high as possible. But again, because this is a milestone-based event, the best way to go about it is essentially farm everything you can, get to the highest levels you can achieve, set it to auto, and then let them do the rest of it, and then empty your gift box once you run out of energy. Now, in terms of the PvP skins, as mentioned, Fancy Pearl, Night Queen, and Gabriven will be having their banners up all month to celebrate it. But this month in particular, they're getting skins based on specialized chocolates in particular. Fancy Pearl at Choco Mint, Night Queen at Banana Mint, and Gabriven at Strawberry Mint. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of major, say, physical differences, I guess you can call it, in how these skins are compared to what we're used to, which is 100% fine. Likely they're just going to be reskins more than anything else, but I still really like the fact that they do like to give these specialized skins to models to try to help keep things aesthetically pleasing and fresh so that models just don't fall by the wayside and get constantly forgotten. Now, one friendly reminder I do want to give to these 3 as well is that of these 3 models here, Fancy Pearl, Night Queen, and Gabriven, Night Queen is a spotlight, which means that she is available permanently in any banner you choose from, no matter what. So while her spotlight banner might give you a higher rate of collecting her, I would actively encourage not really pushing for that one, because if you push for, say, Fancy Pearl or Gabriven, there is a pretty good chance you might probably see a piece or 2 or even the whole set of Night Queen accidentally spook you if you don't end up getting one or the other. Now, just as it has been in previous weeks of PvP, it's very, very easy to collect these. Just participate. Pick a fight, get matched. Either you win or lose, you're still getting points, and it is still very lucrative rewards through the month of February as it does go on. And if you are a Meta Pass holder, this is even more so, doubly so more rewarding and lucrative for you, as you have an entire second row of rewards that you can redeem and earn even more, say, rubies or shards or skin pieces compared to a non-pass user. One other final thing to note on this is the fact that because they did move the paid bundles to a web store off the game, everyone is now officially able to make purchases to be added to the game to top them up. This includes Ruby bundles, Diamonds, BGM packs. This includes the Meta Pass subscription itself, which, friendly reminder, is about 10 to 15 USD at current conversion, if I recall correctly. Maybe even a little lower, since the yen is really, really low right now. If you are an international player, much like I am and a lot of the community is, this is your time to shine, as you can now subscribe and add that to a payment plan so that you can maximize your bonuses every time you log in. Double rewards, all dungeons open, and double EXP, and 3 free full energy refills every day you play, as long as you are a pass to that. And then, of course, every 90 days or every third renewal, you get a free DX ticket, which is a draw 5, keep 1 deal of all limited pickup models. Now, on the community front, stepping away from the game, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any of our translation endeavors. This includes any projects towards Medarot 3 or 4 or any other projects. 3 is still currently in a tentative completion status, so it is 100% done. It mostly just needs a lot of grammar checks and spelling, just to make sure everything's behaving as it should before official release and we can mark it as complete. We would love to start working on Medarots 4 and 5, and especially Navi and other titles and so on, but we need hands and manpower to be able to do that. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, or Japanese, or if you know somebody that might be interested in helping out, have them join our Discord, or you join our Discord in the link provided down in the comments below to keep in touch with us and keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. Ask around, talk about it, and we'll most certainly get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. Now, with the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, it honestly was very obvious that with the introduction of yet another Fujioka Kenki masterpiece, that the art would be coming in droves in just mere hours from her official release and announcement, and this morning was most certainly no exception to that. This piece here on the far end by my dear buddy Navaldius, highlighting his particular glee with the introduction of Alba Noel, with his particular favorite of Noel as well. Wonderful work. I still really appreciate the fact of what you did. I like that you filled in the colors really nice too, with no real holes in there from scribble marks. And I really like how well that came out. I'm sure you're probably the most happiest of the introduction of our new Valkyrie type as well. And then, of course, my dear friend Moen here, who does a lot of beautiful art as well on Twitter. This one here highlighting the Medarotter Anise from Medarot 8 and her partner of Noel as well, where she first made her, for lack of a better term, grand re-debut into the 3D titles after a long period of silence from Navi and never showing up again. Definitely give both of these people a follow either on Twitter or in our Discord if you want to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action and see more of their art in your feeds. You most certainly will not be disappointed to see it, I guarantee. Now, one final comment before I do wrap up, just as a friendly reminder, I am always open to commissions. This includes 2D art and 3D art, as you see here. I can do ready-to-rig live 2D models, fully cut up, ready to go, and high definition. All you have to do is just find a rigger to commission and you're ready to go. I do also do 3D models as well, fully rigged, optimized, and ready to go for anything such as Chill Out VR, VR Chat, MMD, or whatever else you choose to use. They are good for you and ready to go at any time. I also do standard 2D art of varying levels of detail and success, as well as emotes and in addition to bundles. Definitely reach out to me on Twitter or Discord if you'd like to learn more about this, or even maybe put something together and commission me so we can make something happen. With all that being said, though, as always, I do believe that covers everything for this week's episode. Again, not a whole lot of new stuff per se, since it is going to be a relatively quiet week, but still some very exciting news all the same with the introduction of Alba Noel. But with all that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there that I do also manage, which currently is now over an astounding 6,000 members and still growing. I honestly was shocked by it, because the last time I looked, it was at like 2.4 maybe. Suddenly it doubles that at 5.5, and now it's over 6,500. So I am honestly blown away by just how quickly that community is growing, and I'm so happy about it too. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided, and that is where we are the most active in the link provided below. So if you want to keep the closest ear to the ground on the action, that includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, my weekly episodes, or anything related to Medarot as a whole, that's the first place you're going to hear the news before it goes anywhere else on the net. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at ItsuGamiKura, so if you have any questions or feedback or comments, or would love just to stop in and say hello, or even commission me for an art piece, I would absolutely love to hear from you. In addition to this, if you are a streamer, content creator, VTuber, or whatever you are on any platform, Twitter, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, whatever the case may be, and would love to collaborate sometime. Whether that means having you here on my channel as a guest host, of which there is always a seat here available on the MNN, or if you'd like to have me stop in on your channel for a friendly chat or a game, I would love to coordinate with you. So even more so, reach out to me in those DMs and we can definitely make something happen. Lastly, do give these wonderful friends of mine a follow as well in the Twitter community. This one here actually is a friend of mine on Discord and on YouTube as a fellow content creator, Lord of the Losers 01, who actually has been doing the Medarot coverage just a little longer than I have. In particular, fairly recently finished his Let's Play of Medarot Navi all the way through. So definitely give him your support and follow him on YouTube as well, and just kind of help give him that support that the wonderful Medarot community has given, not just to me, but to all Medarotters across the globe. And then do also give my friend the Gold Guardian, the Super Robo VTuber, a follow as well. Not necessarily a Medarotter, much like I am, or a lot of people I tend to highlight. I'm slowly working on that, maybe, if you are listening to this, my dear friend. But still just a wonderful person as well. If you like robots, but Medarot maybe isn't quite as big as you'd like, Super Robo, Giant Robos, he's definitely the guy that you want to give a follow and support as well. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.